What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're having a look at the brand new turtle farming event, getting your hands on the brand new Luffy and Whitebeard, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Of course, you can get your hands on Princess Turtles and the Elder Turtles, all these Rainbow Turtles, but look, in terms of the EXP that these materials give you, it is really bad. So honestly, if you are still looking for EXP materials, I would probably invest in just farming the Diva event for the glow sticks. They do give you more EXP for what you get, and if you have, you know, in the entire Shanks Super Sugo Fest batch, you'll get a lot of dupe drops for that. Obviously with this event, the characters that get boosted drops are going to be the new batch characters, but obviously you can go ahead and check the event page. It does tell you which characters receive additional drops. One thing that we didn't realize until when the event went live is that on the 40 stamina version only, there is a requirement which states that you need to have one of every color on your crew in order to access this event. This is not present on the 30 stamina difficulty. It just mentions that certain characters will give you duplicate drops. But unfortunately, for the 40 stamina version, you need to build a little bit more of an obscure team. In this video today, we have two different teams versus the 40 stamina, and two different teams versus the 30 stamina. The teams versus 30 stamina are all auto, so you don't have to actually play the game. You can just build the team, leave it on auto, and let it play for you. Obviously, you will get less drops out of it because the drops themselves are worse on the 30 stamina version, but the 40 stamina version is relatively difficult building an efficient team that can get through it, as well as giving you decent dupe drops. So it's going to be kind of hard no matter which way you go about it. The 30 stamina version will take you quite a while to get all the rewards. Speaking of the rewards, we can go ahead and peep those Chopman missions. Once you reach that level 300 in terms of dupe drops, you do start getting the crazier rewards. You get lots of rainbow gems. There's level limit break materials, of course, which is very cool. And then you've got the guiding key, which is the golden key, I believe. In order to limit break expand a character, you get a guaranteed legend, limited pool legend ticket as well. But then scroll down a little bit, there are additional rewards, like of course between 0 and 300 drops, which includes more level limit break materials, more gems, and stuff like that. But of course, let's talk about the brand new character that has come along in this event, which is the Luffy and Whitebeard character. Now, this character, I had a lot of high hopes for this character, just due to the fact that it is a Luffy and a Whitebeard, and these characters have really good supports, so I'm really interested to see what he was going to do. Unfortunately, I think they kind of missed the mark. This character is not that great. I don't think this character is going to see a lot of play and content, which is such a shame. This character, though, is a strength striker fighter with a captain ability that gives a rainbow 3x boost, recovery and tandem slots matching, and then also reducing paralysis and despair by 1 turn. Like, it's a pretty okay free-to-play captain. The attack multiplier is just way too low, unfortunately. The special ability, which I believe goes down to 11 turns, so I need one more skill up in order to get that, but it's a 10% health cut, so it's a damage dealing special as well on Luffy and Whitebeard, which is so big. It also reduces all enemies' damage reduction, damage threshold, and defense up by 3 turns, and then changes block slots and their own slot into tandem. And if every type is on the crew when you launch the special, it will give your crew a 2.25 attack and slot effect boost. If you don't have one of every type, it's just a 1.5 times slot effect and attack boost for 3 turns instead of the 1 turn. So you can see, you know, just straight off the bat, just because of that alone, like the utility, if that was like 5 turns, and even just if the utility was 5 turns, this character would see so much play. Just because of the fact that this character is a damage dealing special, you can have so many cool supports on this guy. Legend Ace, for example, Dex Ace to lock slots for multiple turns. You can have Akainu support, all of Luffy's supports. I think Jozu attaches to this guy as well to remove attack down. Like, there's just so many benefits to this character, and it is such a shame that they've made the character really not that good. It's a big shame. Also makes tandem slots beneficial as a crewmate, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, doesn't have a really good support effect. Resisting slot bind by 5, which is pretty mediocre, but it is a free-to-play character. And then you've got the Rumble stuff, where he'll give strength allies 5 attack and 5 defense, which is actually pretty good. And then a 32 CT, which targets 2 high attack enemies for a 30% HP reduction, and also 1.2 times attack up to 2 times. That's actually really nice. This character is pretty good in Rumble if you are still lacking a good strength unit. This character might see a little bit of play here and there, but realistically, this character isn't the best. But that's going to wrap it up from me for this intro. Let's go ahead and actually show off the teams against this content. So jumping into this quest, we have the 230 stamina difficulty fights first, and you can go ahead and click on any of the teams down below on the timeline of the video, or by clicking the timestamp in the description of the video. So for the first two teams being against the 30 stamina, you can run both of the teams on auto, and look, it's a very easy quest when you can just run all of these on auto, and you'll see that when I get to stage 3, I actually do turn it off so I can turn the Uta special on, but you don't actually need to do that either. It does just make it a little bit faster, getting around the certain gimmicks and giving you a lot of damage increasing effects, but definitely not required in order to do that. So nothing too special here for this quest. Of course, using a Sengoku friend captain is going to be nice because it gives you additional drops, but not entirely required either. But if you're going to be farming this extensively, you definitely want Sengoku as a friend captain for all those drops. Moving on to the second team, we're going to be using versus Akainu as the captain. He is actually a boosted character in this quest, which is great. And the thing is about Akainu that's kind of nice in this quest is whenever you take damage, you'll automatically inflict the enemies with the ignited status, which will do a lot of end of turn damage towards them, allowing you to kind of speed through it a bit quicker. Once again, a relatively decent auto team. And, you know, obviously the crew members don't really matter too much. We have the Luffy with the support of Sabo, which removes the enemy's increased defense when we reach the final stage. But again, realistically, you don't need that either. You can just, you know, do whatever you need to do. You can just run whatever you want, essentially whatever you want, to get through the fight pretty easily against the 30 stamina quest. And I think that what most people should be doing is just run your best boosters that give you the most drops with a Sengoku friend captain, and just auto farm the 30 stamina to make this quest a little bit easier for you. Now I can actually get to the 40 stamina quest, which is a lot more difficult. And remember, the condition for the quest requires you to have one of every color on your team in order to enter it. This first team that you're seeing here, shout out to Wimpy, who is a Treasure Cruise Twitter account that I did come across. And this is his team that he created. And this team's actually pretty solid. It really utilizes Uta's special ability to kind of carry you throughout the stages. Even on the final boss stage, just with Uta's attack and orb boosting effects, we don't even have type advantage with like a character with type advantage that gets all the buffs and stuff, and we just do so much damage towards the boss, it's not even funny. So Uta's special is obviously immense here. We don't even use Sengoku special. You could use it earlier if you want. It really depends on what you want to do here. My Kuzan on the crew is actually a level limit break 3, which means that he does receive the buffed captain ability, which is kind of nice, you know, because one of the characters on the bottom row are going to randomly be switched into the captain position. So you probably want it to be either the Luffy and Whitebeard character, which you can get pretty easily just by farming the lower difficulty a couple of times. It can either be the Luffy and Whitebeard, or in this instance, it's going to be Kuzan. Kuzan's a fantastic rainbow captain, but because of Uta's immense power, it actually doesn't matter which captain gets switched into the captain spot here. But I do know that Kuzan's captain before the level limit break is pretty weak, so I think it would still actually work. That shouldn't be too much of an issue, but overall, a pretty fun team, and does give you a pretty good amount of dupe drops. And then we get to the final team of the video, which is going to be a team created by Chaozu on the subreddit Discord. I was actually tinkering with a team very similar to this. I wasn't using Jinbei. I was actually trying to figure out, a really good way that I could abuse like Legend Garp or the Kizuna Ivankov on the team instead, but ended up opting for something similar to this. And then I saw Chaozu's team, and Chaozu's team was just optimized a lot better than what I was doing. So I think it'd be better off to show off his team because it is actually a much better team. And if you are going to be farming for, the 40 stamina quest, like if you're actively wanting to do that, this team does give you a pretty good amount of dupe drops. I think it's in the range of like 5 to 10 or something like that. Like it is, some of them are only a chance to give you a dupe drop, but if everything goes in your favor, you can actually get a lot of dupe drops with this team. Of course, Sengoku is the friend captain, which is super solid. We used Jinbei on the previous stage, which gets rid of the enemy's increased or percent damage reduction effects. The treasure map Chopper here is so good. He gets rid of the burn and the special bind. The burn is really bad though because it does 20,000 damage to your team, so you really have to make sure you can get around the burn, or just make sure that you're not hitting perfects, of course. And then on the final boss stage, we can essentially just use the support effects of the ones that are on Chopper and the one that's on Luffy and Whitebeard. Gets around all of the bind, and we can just abuse the special ability of Sengoku to give us enough damage to literally go through the enemy's increased defense. We don't even need to remove it, which is really, really nice. So Sengoku's special, obviously incredibly powerful in this instance here, being able to just give us the KO. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.